All right. We are excited
Yep.
to be here with our very special guest, Seattle sports DJ for the Seawolves, the Kraken, and the Seattle Storm,
Yep.
DJ Trunks. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be on this. You guys are awesome.
Oh, well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
That's so nice. Not mad about it. So let's start off with the question that we always love to ask people, which is, what has been your favorite part about living in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, the teriyaki. Teriyaki's been amazing. It's so good. Yeah, and it's on every corner. I can't help myself. I'm usually, by the time I get home, I've spent $25 usually on something. So it's made me lazy when it comes to being at home cooking because there's just so many teriyaki places, and that's always been my thing.
So what's your go-to dish then? Do you are you somebody that goes to the same thing every time, or do you switch it up?
I'm so boring. I am so boring. It's the same thing every. I might switch it up between like chicken and beef or something like that, but I don't step outside the boundaries too much. Like I'm the guy at the restaurant. Like I'll order those chicken fingers at the fancy restaurant. So like, I'm kind of boring with it, to be honest, but it's all good.
That's Mikaela too. It's okay.
Look, if I find something that I like, I stick to it. I'm never disappointed. So I'm fine with that. Kate's a little bit more like,
I'm always like
an adventurer in that world.
I like the same things and I'll order the same things, but I'm also like, okay, well, they have this. Let's try that and see what happens, because if it's not great, Mikaela always has something really good I can steal from her. So
it's true.
I'm allergic to so many different foods. So like when I find something that I can't eat, I'm just there with it.
That makes sense.
Wait, you're allergic to chocolate, right?
Yeah, chocolate, chocolate, eggs, peanut butter, chili powder, fish. I can't eat fish. That sucks.
Oh yeah, especially up here.
Yeah. So yeah, anything in that category I can't have. I'm like, no.
I can see why teriyaki is like a safe bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, teriyaki burgers and chicken strips are all safe bets, and wings and stuff like that. So,
Donuts.
Donuts are great out here.
That's a Kate go-to for if she's having a day, get Kate some donuts. Yeah, she'll be fine.
Everything's better with donuts.
So, we know you for being the DJ for all these Seattle sporting events. But outside of DJing, what are some hobbies that you engage in? Like, what do you do when there's a whole week off of Kraken hockey and you get some time back after it's been a lot of DJing at Climate Pledge? What are you doing on your free time?
Free time. Well, because of the kiddos, there's not really too much of it. Like as soon as I get out of the games and stuff like that, I go into full dad mode again. Like I'm in dad mode all the time, but just, school and I gotta take them here and do that. And when they're not there, I'm sitting down playing video games. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm playing video games. I'm working on music, getting stuff together for the next few round of Kraken games, or thinking ahead towards the Storm season, what I want to do, practicing. I'm always practicing at home. So it doesn't really turn off too much. I haven't had a real opportunity to vacation and go places. I guess other hobbies would be like, I like to bowl. I like to play pool. I like to ride dirt bikes, but I don't have one up here yet. I got to buy one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just finding new food places. There's a lot of Seattle discovery I haven't done yet. Like I haven't had a chance to see a lot of things out here. So that's kind of going to be my objective now when there's weeks when there's no games.
That's a good goal.
That's a great plan. Yeah.
So you haven't made it up to the Space Needle yet. Nope. I think I saw you share that. We went up. It was my first time. A couple weeks back. In December.
In December.
I was so scared. The amount of CBD I took just before I went up there, but it was not nearly as bad as I thought.
No.
Look, my 5-year-old little sister.
She was a champ.
She was bold and she was courageous. And I can't be showed up by a 5-year-old. That's just not a thing that can happen. So I grew the cojones. I went up.
Surprising.
And not that anybody wants to know that, but it's worth going up there.
It is. It's a great time. So if you get the chance, and the kids would probably like it too. So
the kids would love it.
You go to Mount Rainier at some point too. I want to go out there. I just always had that luck will it'll erupt when I get there. That's always kind of been my thing. I'll be driving and there'll be an earthquake. I'm just like, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
So
it's a serious concern.
Yep. It can happen. You never know. Well, okay. So you shared a really great photo of you and your son on social media today. And so it just begs us to ask, what is your favorite part about being a dad?
probably like reliving all the stuff that made me happy as a kid. Just going through that whole process again, like introducing them to like all the things that made me happy, and then all of a sudden they're into it too. So it's like my oldest one, I introduced him to like Sonic the Hedgehog and Buzz Lightyear and all that kind of stuff. My favorite guys growing up, and they have way cooler movies than we had when we were kids. They have like the updated great special.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's so that's been fun, reliving all that kind of stuff and having fun with it.
It's like the nostalgia behind it, right? You're like, cool, like I'm totally fine doing this because it's also something that I just want to relive myself. Yeah. And your kids are like, this is great.
Yeah. I'm like that guy that like if I know a fun part of the movie's coming up and I've seen it and you haven't seen it, I'm kind of just like look over at you.
Yeah, you just watch it, wait for the reaction.
Like I'm always like that with them, just like they can't wait until they see this. Like, you know.
I love that. I think that's a fun thing. Like, so she has a little sister. I have a niece who's like, they're like about the same age. And that's kind of the fun thing with us for them too, is just getting to see how they're experiencing the things. Although, you know, I kind of wish my niece would want to do a little bit more of the stuff I want to do, but she's a little bit of a different person than me. And that's okay. She's allowed to be her own person and that's fine. So anyway,
I've watched those videos online that show like parents filming their child watching like monumental moments in these movies that are like, so The Lion King, for instance, the moment Mufasa has the unfortunate luck of dying.
Yeah. And if that's a spoiler for anybody, like you're 20 years too late. That's your own fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so parents like filming their kids in that moment,
so
watching that happen, either that or when this could be a super spoiler, Darth Vader admits that he's Luke's father and the kids are, you just see the kids' reaction.
You just
it's just like,
ruined that for so.
Did I ruin that for you? Please don't tell me I ruined that for you.
I've never, yeah.
Oh shit!
I've seen all of it. For some reason, I just missed that part of it.
Oh wait, I can't. I don't know.
No, he's messing with you.
I'm messing with you. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Oh my God, I'm gullible. You'll get me, man. You'll get me.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking on video games, you mentioned that you like to do that. Mario Kart's a thing, but like if there was go-to video games from like growing up, if you played growing up to now, what would you recommend to people to play?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and Super Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, Mario Kart, and Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
She's into that.
Nice.
Yeah, those are my go-tos. And you know, Grand Theft Auto if you have a bad day.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've played all the Grand Theft Auto games.
She has.
I wanted a new one out, but I know that they just keep. The thing is, I can't do the online version of Grand Theft Auto because I don't know. Anytime I have gone into the online version, I just have my ass handed to me real quick. So I'd rather just play through like the actual game, not online. Through that story. So that's a good one. Zelda for me was like has been a massive one for me growing up. I love Zelda. The Legend of Zelda and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah. I love those big open world kind of games where you can kind of just do what you want to do. So it's fun.
It's real good.
I'm the video game navigator at this point in my life where I just help point things out and all that. So I don't get to play as much, but
we need those people in life though. We need those.
That's right. Yeah. I'm like
every superhero needs a person in the chair to let them know where the crime is. Like you have to be that person.
That's right. That's right. So okay, as a DJ, you have probably listened to 1.5 jillion songs and have like tons that you like and probably some that you don't, maybe as much. But if you had to or got to create a soundtrack for your life, what are some of the songs that would be on it?
There was this one song that DJ Khaled had back in the day called "We Taking Over," and it's like "We taking over one city at a time." Remember, it was like a while back. So I put that on there. I've moved from a different couple cities doing not the same thing, but DJing. So that would be one on there. Candy Rain.
So good.
Yeah, that song just always puts me in a good mood and brings me back to like nostalgia and that kind of stuff. And let's see, I'm trying to think of something that's more current that well, not really current. Like all my stuff, like when I'm in the car, like I really don't listen to too many things that are like past 2019. Like I'm so nostalgia, like 2000s, 90s, 80s, all that kind of stuff, rock, hip hop, and everything like that. So most of my songs would be in that genre. Oh, you know what? Outkast, The Way You Move. That'll be
that's a good one. That's a good song.
That'll probably be number one on my playlist.
Oh wow,
that's great.
Kicking it off that way.
Yeah,
I do like that because I'm like
sets the tone.
I don't know why, but I'm like the kind of person that like when I'm driving down the road, and maybe it's watching too many TV shows because there's always a soundtrack to whatever TV show, and in between moments and reality shows or whatever, and I'm just like, what song would be playing right now as I'm driving?
Oh, like if it was your,
what
would
a somebody show about be yeah, exactly. And I think about that, and I'm just like, what would be on? Anyways, yeah, exactly. Sitting on a bus, looking out a window, like what song's playing right now?
Some sweet instrumental or something.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some great instrumentals. I catch myself listening to just straight lo-fi beats and stuff like that. But
it's a good vibe.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, so you mentioned that you've moved around quite a bit DJing throughout your career. You've done lots of different kinds of events. Is there any place that have stood out to you as one of your favorite places to DJ or an event that you did? No matter, like, it could be anywhere, anytime. What's the one that stands out to you as like, that was a really fun, cool moment?
Let's see. Probably my first really fun, cool moment was I was living in LA at the time, and I booked this gig at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel for Travis Scott party. And one of the DJs I was supposed to go on didn't show, so they pushed me back closer to like right before the headliner. And this is like one of my first real big gigs, and we had like 1,100 people there. It's a huge pool party, and people. It's just a whole bunch of madness going on. You can only imagine Travis Scott, Hollywood, like it's
yeah.
And so I got up there, and I did a great job. I messed up, but nobody could tell that I messed up because I disguised it so much. I just kept putting my hands up like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But I brought it back, and the party turned out well, really, really great. And then afterwards, I ended up getting a residency there. So I was able to play there every Saturday night for like the next like 2 years after that party. So yeah, that was probably my cool moment with that. And then probably a place. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'm sorry, but I got to keep going back to Client Pledge Arena. Like I kind of like, you can't top it. I don't know. There's no place that I've done that I can top it. Maybe before that, there was this house in Malibu that we used to throw parties at. That was really nice. I was always a big fan of house parties growing up. Most fun were at house parties. But yeah. So Climate Pledge Arena, there's no topping that. I can't figure anything out.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, and when you DJ there, you're kind of in different locations depending on like which team is playing. So for the Storm, you're kind of over on the side in the club section, and then for the Kraken, you're kind of up on the end. Like, is one of those places, do you enjoy DJing from more or better?
Yeah, okay. I'll be like really honest about this. Like it's hard to be like it's hard to DJ up that high. I'm at the Kraken games because I really can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
It's so to answer your question, for the Storm, I like where I'm at way better because I can see what I'm doing, I can hear what I'm doing, and like when I'm mixing live, I can offset things with my ears. Like I'm so used to being able to have one headphone off and listen to what's going on in the club and have my other ear on to hear what I'm doing so I can match what's going on. It sounds right. But when you're all the way up there, you can't really hear and do that. And then also, for the Kraken being all the way up there, it's kind of, I miss the human interaction. Like it's always easier for me to do my job when I can tell like, oh, you're moving your feet, you're clapping your hands, you're stomping a little bit. Cause if they don't put you on the Jumbotron during the game, I don't know if you're having a good time or not. Cause I can't see.
That's a good point.
And at the Storm games, you got a pretty good view of the court there too.
Right. So I've been asking them to try to get me some kind of DJ booth set up. You know how they have Benny draw bars down there where you can play the organ and stuff. I'm trying to get them to get me set up somewhere down there like that for next year. So I can always do my best. I'm always trying to do my best, but I always know that if I'm able to hear and see the two key elements in being a DJ.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
That's a really good point though.
It is.
Yeah, I don't think I would have thought about it from that perspective. So yeah, that's good to know.
So based off of like the sporting events that you do, so again, Seawolves, Storm, Kraken, does your playlist change based off of the sport it is? Like, do you feel like there's different vibes to those sports that you need to cater to?
Yeah, well, see, with the Seawolves and the Kraken, there are similar vibes. Like I can hop in and out of those playlists a lot because there's pretty similarities between the two. With the hard hitting and all that kind of stuff, and the rock and roll and things like that.
Yeah,
and I rarely go into my Storm playlist at Kraken games because the Storm players, like before the Storm season, I got text messages on my Instagram from Storm players. Hey, this is what I heard you're coming. This is what we want to hear, and it's usually like really current hip hop, current stuff, like some the music on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. So I know that usually wouldn't fly too much at Kraken games. Storm playlist is usually really separated, but the Kraken and Seawolf stuff I can kind of bounce here and out of if I want to match them because it's kind of a similar vibe.
That's actually really cool to hear. That's like, because you then are having different experiences depending on what team you're also DJing for and your experience with them and how you interact with players. I don't know, I assume that it would be really different based off of the hiring or the staff or the crew. So has that been like a super different experience depending on what team, especially like, let's say for the Storm and the Kraken, it's the same venue, but is it a different staff and team you're working with for those games?
Yeah, it's the interaction between the two have been different. I mean, for the Kraken, I've been hit up by a player or two about certain songs, and some of the songs that are heard at the games and in warm-ups and things are stuff that players requested. I've been approached about getting in the room with players more for the Kraken and talking to them kind of one-on-one and really getting down to like, hey, what you want to hear? Because a lot of the time before, initially I was approached by, one or two of the players, I'm playing what I think you want to hear.
Yeah.
What I've seen and when I've gone to games, things like that. And I mean, granted, it's been going well and I'm thankful for that, but it's always easier for me to know what you want to hear. I've never been the guy being like, hey, don't send me a request. Now don't come up to ask me the same song 15 times, or don't you see me setting up and you have a song request, give me a few songs. I might play it. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, knowing what the players want to hear, it always works. And then that was made it not easy, but easier for me with the Storm season. And even with the Seawolves, like I had some players come up, hey, you mind playing such and such from Drake when we do this and do that? Yeah, sure, bro, I got you. Like that makes it easier for me. But I've always been the guy that's really good at telling stories. So I kind of do my best to match the story of what's going on with the songs that are being played.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I feel like I kind of get that sense because I feel like depending on like which teams would play, like for us this, because we were at so many of the Storm games, I feel like depending on which teams would come, the music would be kind of different depending on like who it was or who was there or whatever. And I don't know, maybe that was just me, but it felt like it was intentional. So overall, speaking of different teams, jeez, oh Pete's, the news broke today about Breonna Stewart and how she's signing with the New York Liberty. And so with Sue Bird's retirement and how all of that went last year, and now with other players departing, like, do you expect there to be a different energy at Climate Pledge during Storm games? Have you thought about that yet?
I don't think there'll be it's kind of hard not for there to be a certain difference a little bit when favorite players, like real favorite players, go to different teams. I mean, there's still, I feel like some players that are sticking around that people love to see, but it does kind of look like might go into rebuild mode a little bit. But regardless of the fact, I think it's still a really strong team, and the fan base has been there like from the get-go. Respect where these players are going, respect the retirement, respect her going, back home, New York.
Yeah.
So it's the fan base that I've experienced when I was here have been so nice and accepting of what's going on around them, and just been cheering the team on regardless of what's happening. So regardless if it's them or whoever's playing basketball on the floor, I'm sure the energy is going to be amazing, like it always is. And still going for championships regardless of who's playing basketball.
You have to. That's the thing. And the one thing that we like to highlight too, number one, they still have Jewel Lloyd, Mercedes Russell.
Oh my gosh,
those two are the two that we know for sure are on the roster.
So happy about it.
But we like to discuss how the WNBA only has 12 teams and there's 12 roster spots per team. So there's a lot of really great talent out there. You think about all these collegiate basketball players, these women that don't necessarily always have that chance to be able to start on a WNBA team or make a roster spot because there's people that have come before them that hold those spots for quite a while. Sue Bird, it was 20 years. So I'm expecting and hoping to have like this a whole lot of youth coming in that are talented and hungry and fast.
Be great.
So I'm interested to see kind of how the Storm retool, and the fact that like I completely trust the decisions they're going to make through the draft too, and how they select. I mean, they drafted Sue Bird, which was obviously years ago, but Jewel Lloyd, Breonna Stewart, they know the talent. They can retool, and I think that that's going to be good. But I was curious to know if that would change the energy of how you have to approach it as a DJ, getting these fans hyped up.
No, I think we just keep hitting them hard. Great music's great music, and the energy will always be there. And championship teams do championship things. Like they'll figure it out. We'll get there again. So it's just a different puzzle pieces.
Yep, exactly.
It's true. It's true.
So, which fan base between the Kraken, Storm, and Seawolves is most likely to dance and get into music at a game?
Putting you on the spot.
Wow, it's so hard. I keep getting visions of different people dancing at both events, and I can't bail on this question. I want to give you an answer. Okay, so
it was a good question, wasn't it? I'm so sorry I put you on the spot.
No, this is a great question. I'm trying to think myself. I think it's just the energy is so different. Like Kraken games is way.
Yeah.
And then, when I'm playing music, when there's Storm games, people are up like it's a club, like they're doing that. So it's kind of two different styles. I will say that I'll say Kraken.
Okay.
I'll say Kraken. Kraken games they're popping. People have so much fun, and there's always tons of energy. The whole production, all that it's amazing. I'll go with Kraken on that one. But Storm is not far behind. It's definitely a 1A and 1B in my mind when it comes to that.
Yeah, very close. A very close second. All right. So then what is the song that gets people up and dancing? Like if as a DJ, there's a song that you're just like, that's typically the one that most people will get up and dance to. What is that song?
Oh yeah, I definitely have a folder of like go-tos in case of emergency. Like there's So,
you got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, everybody loves Poison. Like that old Poison.
Yeah.
Me out of my mind. That song comes on, people go start dancing. That one and 24 Karat Magic seem to just be those two. That people just all of a sudden just lift your spirits up. So and mostly in that category, it seems to fall into like early 90s hip hop R&B type just the fast paced moving kind of stuff like that.
And I mean, I always love it when you put on like Eye to Eye from
that's
it's good. It's a good one. Okay, so if you got to pick one of these people, I'm going to go air quotes people, as your co-DJ for the night, would you go with Rucky the Seawolf, Bowie, or Doppler? And we're not trying to get you in trouble because we know that you probably love them all equally. But if one of them got to be your co-DJ, Who would you go with?
They have different personalities. I mean, that could be testing the water there. So I'm curious.
Different appendages as well.
They do.
You know, Rucky has fins, but he could spin a record. I don't know.
Well, based off of Bowie coming up in the music booth a few times and coming up there and hanging out, and I gotta give it to Bowie, man. Bowie's great. Yeah, I have to give it to Bowie, 100%. I mean, look, Rucky's great. Doppler's great.
Totally.
But Bowie has so much swag. He's I gotta give it to him. He's the type of person where the Bowie type person where I would like go to the bathroom and be like, "Yo, you got it."
Yeah,
and that's the kind of level I'm at with Bowie.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Trust.
That is
because Bowie's got some attitude. Bowie is fun.
Bowie's new and just like has just taken the scene and like embraced all
no
of
apologies.
Yeah.
Unapologetic troll.
Yeah,
Bowie, you see this, you know I love you. You know.
Yeah, we'll make sure Bowie knows. Yeah. Bowie will know.
It's all very positive.
Okay, positive. Last question for you, so we can honor your time. Will you be DJing for the Seawolves' first preseason match this Sunday, the 5th at Starfire? Are you going to be there?
I'm honestly, I won't be there.
No, we'll miss you though. We'll be thinking about you.
We're trying to work it out with the schedule for this season with the Seawolves. I think I have a game or two coming up, but schedule this season was so lined up with the Kraken games too, where it's like I kind of have to play it by ear.
That's so hard for you, I bet. Like that's like, how do you manage that? Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, luckily though, the Kraken and Storm play in the same building, so that was where that always will work out. So that's very happy about that. And then eventually, when the Sonics come back, they'll be in the same building. So
speak it into existence.
That's right. It's gonna happen.
Move up there. Just move my stuff.
Just like
they have an in-house DJ assigned to Climate Pledge. There's really no need for anybody else to be in that space.
Not at all.
I can sleep in the Space Needle Lounge. I'm fine with that.
It's kind of comfy up there.
It looks,
that makes a lot of sense. Well, we're glad that you're going to be maybe at least at a few of those Seawolves because good to see you. So
we'll put some requests in.
Yeah, like do the
I'll message you
Twitter
and say, hey,
or something.
Yeah. Can you put this on repeat for me?
For sure. You know I got you.
Over and over again.
I'm always there for you guys.
We appreciate it.
We love it.
Well, we just want to thank you for your time, for joining us on the podcast for this episode. It's season 2, episode 12. And you know what? 212 means a lot to me. I was born on February 12th, so 212 is my number. So it's a lucky number. We got DJ Trunks with us.
Just great.
And we just appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast. Always good to chat with you all.
Yeah.
All right. Go Seawolves, go Kraken, and go Storm.
Yeah. Everybody.
Go Seawolves, go Storm, go everybody. And then go Future Sonics. Go Future Sonics.
That's right.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.